How's it? Today is Monday, April 10th. It's Big Friday uh, on Monday. If you recall last week, I had a issue, an issue. On Wednesday, on one of my accessory movements, I felt a tweak in one of my adductor muscles, and walking was a little bit labored. On Thursday, I got it checked at the clinic with one of my PTs. They said it's likely a grade 1 strain and that I should take it a little bit easy for the weekend until the meet because she knows that I'm preparing for a meet. So that meant that Friday's planned lifting of 3 to 5 singles at 95 for snatch and 3 to 5 singles at 125 for clean and jerk, I couldn't do those. I ended up doing 85 for a bunch and then 90 for one and then 115 for a bunch and then 120 for one. And my hip felt fine. It was a little bit achy at work that night. And then Saturday, I ended up starting with front squat into deadlift. Hip was completely fine with those movements. Bench was a different issue. Bench kind of bothered my hip a little bit. But that was Saturday. Sunday, I worked fine, completely fine. Didn't even think about it until Sunday night when I was like, oh shit, I gotta prepare for tomorrow. So that's kind of what I was thinking about. But I talked to Steve earlier today, and he said basically we're gonna just do what I was supposed to do on Friday today, because if I'm trying to open at 100 and 130, I need to be comfortable at 100 and 130. So today would be really important for me to lift off the ground and hit 95 for a couple, hit 125 for a couple. As far as it goes, last week I did hang snatch at 95 and hang clean and jerk at 125. So those numbers are definitely easy and doable. It's just, here's my first set. It's just lifting off the ground is very different. I'm not as consistent as I am when I'm doing it from the hang. And you'll see here, some of these are a little bit easier than others. I'm honestly like pretty frustrated with myself on like how inconsistent I am. Like like that one was pretty okay, but watch this fourth one. It's not as good. Yeah, I'm very behind the bar there, and I'm just lucky I was able to catch it. This last one was really good though. This fifth one here. Yeah, pretty solid. I'm trying to just extend with my hips completely before I pull any of my arms, and that's kind of been an issue lately, right? So I end up often pulling up my elbows a lot sooner than I need to, and it kind of creates a weird timing issue, weird tempo issue, and then a loss of power overall. And it happens on my clean a lot as well, but I think for the snatch, there's a lot less room for error, so I end up missing more on the snatch. As far as it goes, I was actually planning to just do 3 singles at 95 today because 3 would have been good enough, but I was kind of, I mentioned earlier, like inconsistent, and that wasn't making me feel super confident at that weight, so I ended up doing the two extra. I didn't miss any, so that's really good. After that, I moved into my clean and jerks. I think right here, 100 was my last good clean. Everything else after this is kind of whack. It's like I'm catching the bar a lot lower than I need to, and it feels like my shoulders are kind of caving as a result of that. Like I'm a little bit behind on that one. I'm looking at the side view here. Jerk is fine. Jerk is probably the best jerk I've done today at 110. 120 doesn't get any better for the clean. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit better than the 110. But the first 125 is kind of just shit. So I was not happy with how that went. I ended up missing 2 jerks for 125 today. And that's never a good place to be, especially if like I want to open at 130. Look at this clean. Ooh, that looked gross. I'll tell you what, it felt gross. I kind of just wasn't able to, as far as where like my extension goes and where my shoulders are in space, I'm just not able to meet the bar in an advantageous position. Look at that. That is terrible. Um, I have plenty of height, like plenty of height. I think one thing that I noticed after I was all done, I was watching the videos back. Yeah, here's my first miss. One thing I noticed after I watched them back was that it seems like my arms are pulling too much, and like my upper back is like a little bit too tight for me to allow my elbows to come up. So you see, right at the bottom of the catch, it's like my elbows want to push through, but my shoulders and my lats are a little bit too tight. So I'm just not letting it happen. And I don't know if that is true or valid, but I know that if I was a little bit looser and a little bit cared less about the position of the catch, or cared more about the position of the catch, sorry, cared less about being tighter and kind of being able to push my elbows through, then none of these problems would happen. And that is something I should think about for Friday's lifting. But yeah, so 2 out of 4 clean and jerks were made today, 125. I mean, it still feels pretty easy. Like even with those poor clean execution, it still feels like I can clean 130 and jerk 130. Um, After that, I moved into front squats, which is exactly what I was supposed to have done on Friday. Kind of 95, 125, and then work up to excuse me, work up to a heavy single for the front squat. So me being me, I did the lazy thing, went 60, 100, 140. Watch how hard this is. And then I went to 145. Um, yeah, yeah, the shit was hard. I was gonna do 150 after that, but that was way hard. It's worth it to note today I actually started working on Mondays again. Usually Mondays are my day off, so I can kind of come into the gym whenever I want, rested well, and all these things. So I wasn't rested well today. I was at the clinic from 10 to 3, and then I just headed straight over to the gym to lift. And 100% that impacted my performance today, just because I am not used to this. I think in a couple of weeks, if I were used to this, then it would be a little bit different. But I don't have a couple weeks. This Monday and the next Monday is my last Monday before the meet. So we'll see what happens. I'm really excited. I still think I can open at 100 and 130 even after today. Um, we'll see what happens on Friday, of course. We'll see if my hip feels good. My upper back kind of got a little bit of achy pains like I used to have when I was cleaning today from those terrible cleans. But yeah, not too much else to say. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Shoots.